Real Madrid lose 2-1 to Levante in La Liga. Janusz Michallik joining me now on ESPN FC to look back on the game and the defeat for Zidane's men. Were you surprised that they shot themselves in the foot on more than one occasion in this clash, Janish?
Well, yes and no. Yes, because they're Real Madrid. No, because they're missing a lot of players. Defensively, they were shambles, but one can understand it when you look at the likes of Sergio Ramos and Nacho and Carvajal not being there. That was for everybody to see, obviously. But it's still Real Madrid, and they should have done better here because of the position they are in right now. And also coming into this game, they were in good form on a 9-game unbeaten streak, 5-game winning streak at home. So it's a massive, massive loss right now, given the table and the fact that Atleti now can go 10 points clear with a game in hand.
Speaking of a massive loss, I know one person who you really do feel is a big loss to this side is their captain, Sergio Ramos. And I think that was displayed early on when we saw Militao sending off.
Well, yes, I mean, it's funny to me because, so much pressure has been put on Karim Benzema as the one that's supposed to score goals, which he, by the way, has been doing. He doesn't have much help, but look, when you look at Sergio Ramos, I mean, this defense was leaderless. He's one of them, and it makes me smile a little bit, especially today. I think if you're Sergio Ramos, you go straight to Florentino Perez and say, what? 10% pay cut? I mean, Florentino Perez should give him all the money that he has in his bank account and give it to him. It's quite simple because, this Real Madrid is going to be a transition for a long, long time. And Sergio Ramos, just by his presence alone, would have made sure that this game, at the very least, was not lost. Now, I don't necessarily think of him always as one of the best defenders, but I certainly think of him as a leader. And today, that backline was just absolutely horrible. And not just in the manner in which they conceded the goals, but the number of chances they gave to Levante. This is Real Madrid, a normal Real Madrid that even with 10 men normally wins this game.
Yeah, this is interesting because obviously we talk about the injuries and you say that backline. And I know that it wasn't the usual Real Madrid backline. And I know they were up against a Levante side that everybody talks about being brave and being bold, with the likes of Roger Marti and El Comandante Jose Luis Morales. But still, this is Real Madrid. Surely when the big names are out, the names that come in should be able to deal with this.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. I'm glad that you've asked. Yeah, they're missing tons of players, but it is Real Madrid. But it also makes you wonder, if you're Real Madrid and you look at this, and I know that numbers are sometimes important, but I look at the players coming off the bench, nothing special. Everybody, because they were on a good run. But are you telling me that Luka Modric, even to some degree Casemiro, by the way, I'm not getting rid of them, but even Toni Kroos, after that wonderful ball that he had for a goal, are you telling me they're getting that much better and they're perfect? Should we not ask, what about players like Achraf Hakimi? What about players like Reguilon? What about players like Marcos Llorente? You can even ask maybe Mariano or Odegaard. I mean, were those decisions right decisions when you look at some of these players and success they have, right? Because when you're transitioning a little bit, you have to say to yourself, are we keeping the right guys or are we getting rid of some of the guys? Did I even mention Marcos Llorente? I don't know if I did.
You did.
So I do have a bit of a problem, Kay, with maybe the decision making there, because I just think that what we saw today is not a big surprise, and I think if the backline is strong, I think the players in front all of a sudden look a little bit better because they just don't dominate the games like they did in the past.
Let's go back to your Benzema point, because I know they were talking recently on ESPN FC, the panel, of whether it's Benzema or bust with this Real Madrid side. If he doesn't score, saying that the team struggle. What do you think of them saying that Benzema is so crucial to this side?
Well, I think in principle, that's not a wrong opinion, because if there's not a lot around of him that players that score goals. But I just do think if the backline is a little bit better, you grind out a result like this 1-0 if he scores or he does not. So I think if you're Real Madrid, look, Karim Benzema has always been a wonderful player. He just never used to get the credit for it because of Cristiano Ronaldo or anybody else for that matter that was around the team. So they do need somebody. And again, I don't want to disagree with that just for the sake of disagreeing, because it's probably true. But I think their bigger problem is defensive organization, which we saw today, missing couple players on defense, and all of a sudden you're playing home against a Levante team that is going to try to play. So you'd say if you're Real Madrid, I'm okay with that. We can catch them on the break, but with whom? So many issues there. And again, they've been on such a good run. I just think that this year, this is Atleti's to lose. And I bet you in a game like this, Atleti don't make mistakes like Real Madrid made today.
Okay, last point, just to maybe give the Madridistas something to be happy about. There's been a lot of excitement about a front three of Karim Benzema, Marco Asensio, and Eden Hazard. If everyone can stay fit there, would you be excited about this front three for Real Madrid going forward too?
As I've said, when you look at the pure numbers, what Real Madrid were doing lately, they've been playing well. So, I mean, you lose a game. Yeah, I don't think Real Madrid. So, I mean, I think they've lost 8 games already this season, Real Madrid, in all competitions. I mean, that's crazy. Think about it. I mean, which Real Madrid team loses 8 games this early in the season? But, if Asensio can be the Asensio before, he's missed so much time before that knee injury, fair play. We've seen glimpses from Eden Hazard. Even today, remember a couple of the runs, I mean, were superb from him. But the problem is a team like Real Madrid at this stage of the season, you just can't wait for that. Do I think it can happen in the future? Absolutely. If you're asking me next year, can the front three, if they're healthy, can they be formidable? Absolutely. I have zero problems with that because I've seen it from Eden Hazard. I don't think he's forgotten how to play. I've seen brilliance from Asensio. I don't think he's forgotten how to play. Unfortunately, Kay, we're dealing with what's happening right now. And what's happening right now is that, look, Real Madrid will likely not defend their La Liga title. And you know what? I mean, they got Atalanta coming up in the Champions League. My goodness, if you make mistakes like you did today, I mean, forget about it. Hopefully by then they'll have Sergio Ramos back at the very least. And Florentino Perez at least has to sign him and take that out of the equation because that's crazy to me.
Yeah, Levante may have been up against 10 men for most of the game, but all credit to Paco Lopez's men with a 2-1 win over Real Madrid and some questions that we've just tried to answer with their performance today.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.